Okay. We're recording.
We are recording.
And
do it. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Yeti Walks into Basecamp. If you are watching the video versus just listening to the podcast, this is new because we have video.
yes.
Every other episode has been video-less. So we're trying to do something a little bit different today with the video. And we also have a special guest on here. We've already had her once on our podcast on the Unsung Heroes episode. Her name is Michelle Nagle, aka Mish.
What up?
Hello.
And
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to
Happy
you.
to be here. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Wait, who are you?
I was just about to say, so if we rewind and say, hey everyone, this is Yeti Walks into Basecamp.
Yeah.
We are your hosts.
This is
And I'm Basecamp.
I'm Yeti Legs.
Yay.
Wait, we forgot.
They're working
I know.
on it. They're working on
We've been
it.
out hiking all day with our
With
newest
our new
edition,
puppy.
and she's exhausting. A little
I love
bit.
it. What's her name? What's the puppy's
Exhausting.
name?
Her name is Loba.
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 Did you guys name her?
No, I guess that was her original name.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it means she wolf in Spanish, and she looks like a mini
Wow.
wolf. Like she really does
Okay.
look like a mini wolf. And so we decided it was a good name for her.
I like
So
that.
Loba Black. We haven't given her a middle name. yet.
Loba Black.
Loba Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
We have a cool story today that we wanted to share with everyone. We're not continuing on with the
We
PCT
will.
saga right now, but we will pick it up. We just really wanted to share this and some cool news with y'all and go from there and try out this new theme or this new pattern, this new method, the video with our guest.
yes, we've kind of come to this thought of let's try this thing where we bring someone in who's never been a part of our story. And we tell our story and they get to participate and ask questions. And if they're curious about something, then they get to interrupt us and be like, wait. So what did that sound like? Or what did that look like? Or wait, how heavy was your just any question. So Michelle, any question that comes to your mind, you can interrupt us and ask it, because I think that I was telling Yeti Legs, I was telling Wesley that it's hard for me to tell these stories with just him because he's always
always there.
He's there.
Right.
So it's not
Yeah.
exciting, fresh or new. And you can't put emphasis on the words in the same way. So we figured we would invite Michelle onto this one and let's try it out. See what happens. So
Yeah.
I love
There we
it.
go.
And I don't know much about the story, just for the listeners, you guys haven't prepped me on like anything about anything. I know it was a 2-day hike. That's about all I know. So I'm excited to come in fresh to it. I don't know it. I haven't been prepped is what I
Coming in hot. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
this is important. What is the drink of the choice?
what is your drink of the choice, Michelle?
My drink of the choice. My choice of the drink. I'm only one in. I don't know how many in your Wesley, but the way you're calling it, the drink of your choice is Cooper Wine, the cab, drinking it in a whiskey glass. Why
There you
not
go.
mix it up,
Very classy.
Yeah. Very nice.
And you?
Marie, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking, it is the Breckenridge Brewery Hazy IPA.
Oh.
Breckenridge Brewery is really not my favorite beer, to be
Oh.
honest. I feel like it's very commercialized and they kind of like just downgrade the amazingness that could be
The quality.
beer in Colorado. So it's okay. The reason I'm drinking this is because my aunt left it in the fridge and it was the only beer that I wanted to drink.
Yeah.
He has dark beers I don't want.
Dark beers. I'll you chew my beers. So this is the Malpais Stout from La Cumbre Brewery in New Mexico. Just trying out something new here.
Right on.
So yeah. Pitch Black, like my last name. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers in the camera.
Perfect. Cheers in the camera. I think we should do Cotton World updates.
Yeah,
Cotton
we
World
do
downloads.
We do an update on all of our podcasts on what's happening in our life in real time. So updates. Our update is
The biggest
we have a
one
big
is
announcement.
we have a third member to our family.
No, I am not pregnant.
Basecamp is not pregnant.
Okay.
But you can't see her, but she's down here on the floor sleeping.
Should we turn the camera?
We adopted her, and she is covered in fur.
Take a guess.
It's not a human. It's a dog.
Am I guessing? Because I did get to see her. She's really cute. So
Yeah.
it's not a chinchilla. It's a dog. But what kind of dog?
It's so she's a Siberian Husky mix Malamute.
We call it a muskie.
Musky.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
that rolls off the tongue really well. Muskie.
Musky. We're
I
trying
love
to
that.
teach her like sled dog words. Like mush means go.
Go.
Mush.
Oh, fun.
Whoa, and stop.
Whoa.
You guys
Yeah,
all have to
teach
get into you're in Colorado. Get into dog sledding with your dog. Maybe I'll have to get
she
more
was-
dogs. Oh,
I think we're good right now.
We're good
Should've
just
seen
trying
my face.
her out right now.
nice.
Well,
She's real cute.
trying her out.
Trying her out.
No.
A
We're
dog. You're
definitely
trying
gonna-
out a dog, which you will keep, but it's your first
Yes.
dog. I get it.
Yes.
Like,
It's like, yeah, it's like, okay, if we want kids, this is a good beginning to try and see how this goes.
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And also
Yeah,
plants.
You having both a child and a
And like
a
five
horde of
dogs.
5 dogs. I mean, can you attest to
Four.
that? Is
It's
the dog a
four.
good prequel?
Everybody, it's 4 dogs. But yes, dogs are. We did get a dog before we had a kid, so yes, it's true. We did that. And
Oh, that's
also
right.
plants.
The 2
If you can keep
chihuahuas.
plants alive, then you're good too.
Okay.
He can
Yeah.
keep plants alive. I, on the other hand, anytime he ever goes away, a plant dies.
It's catastrophic.
It's not that every plant dies.
Whoa.
It's like one plant dies. Like one actually did die because I forgot that it was even there. It was in the bathroom just chilling. You know?
Yeah, it's like I just have to accept the casualty every time I leave.
At least
Oh,
one
funny.
plant dies.
Say goodbye. You say goodbye to your plants.
We have like 12 plants. So I mean, like I'm
Oh.
taking care of so many plants.
So
when he's
what's
gone, I
one?
feel
You know
like.
what I mean?
Yeah.
What's one? It's okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've kept all the orchids alive.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah.
job.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
I
We
appreciate you.
actually, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have an orchid actually that is bloomed and it's so beautiful.
Hmm.
Mm.
I know we've got 3 of 6 blooms on it.
Yeah.
Yep, got a few more coming.
How often
Any
do they
other-
bloom? Do you know, Mr. Plant Man?
No, really just depends. I'm sure if you looked it up, you could find some estimate, but I don't know it.
Okay. I
Yeah.
have an orchid that is flowerless currently, and I am just wondering when it will.
Oh
Well,
yeah, is that the one I cut the stem off of?
Yes.
Yeah.
It should grow a new stem, and that new stem will start to produce flowers.
Okay.
It could be.
Yeah.
So to give you a good perspective though, this one that's blooming like crazy, it's got like
Mm.
5 blooms on it, 6 blooms. It's beautiful.
Wow.
But Wesley cut the stem a year ago. And
Oh,
so
and it
now.
just-
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, I'll be
it's
patient.
okay. It happens.
It's been a month, so
Good things come to those who wait. Something
That,
like
there's
that.
going to be a lot of patience with that orchid.
A lot of patience.
yeah. Okay, I can do it.
Yeah,
Any updates in your world?
yeah.
I mean, I didn't get another dog, but you know,
I
'cause we
can't
have
believe
4
I said 5 instead of 4. I'm so sorry.
I know.
Oh,
How
listen,
dare
it's
you?
like
5
5.
is insane. 4 is also insane, and also a fish
Yeah.
and a cat. But nothing
That's
crazy
amazing.
here. 2024, just starting off the new year. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like you guys have some stories to tell, but we're just
sure we do.
plugging away in Georgia.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever
Mhm.
watched those Netflix? It's like a docu series, whatever. Death to 2020, Death to 2021. Have you seen those?
no. Uh-uh.
Hilarious.
Oh, you should definitely watch them. It's like a parody on the year.
You gotta watch
Okay.
It just makes fun of everybody and like the different stereotypical type of people in it.
I've never even heard of it. So yeah, I love a good
Yeah.
laugh.
They
you know
stopped
what I
at
mean?
21, but I wish they would do one for 23
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least.
Such a
Yeah.
bummer.
I know.
Right on. I'll check it out.
Cool. Should we get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yes.
You want to set the stage?
Set the stage. Okay.
That is-
So
Mm.
we did this trail. It's called the big Dominguez and little Dominguez loop. And this was back in the summer.
It was like spring, summer of last year. So 23.
23. And we were really itching to do a trail not in the snow. So we were searching. And then we happened upon this one that we knew was in the desert. And I had just gotten a new pack, the Virga 3. It's a Granite Gear pack. And I was like, I really want to try it out on a weekend, like backpacking trip, see how it feels and all that stuff. And you also had gotten one too. So I was like, man, I really want to just do something. And we were itching for a trail. And we find this one. Okay. And it's 40 miles long. And we are determined to do it in 2 days.
It's about 4,500 feet of gain, which is not anything crazy.
Nothing crazy.
When you see that number in the hiking world, you're like, oh, that's doable.
Yeah, 4,540 miles. That feels pretty doable for what we can do.
Where is it? You say the desert, but I have no idea where it is.
So it is like southeast of Grand Junction, Colorado.
Oh, it's still in Colorado?
Yeah, it's still in Colorado.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's in the Dominguez Canyon Wilderness, and it's in Mesa and Delta County.
So it's like from us, if we're in the middle, so living in Breckenridge, if you're in the middle of Colorado, you would go southwest.
Yeah.
Southwest to the more to the closer to the tip of south. Like,
have you ever heard of Palisade peaches, Palisade wine? It's like where the wine from Colorado comes from. So it's just south of that place.
Yes.
And it's desert.
Yeah. And it's desert. Like all that Grand Junction area out there is pretty like mesic, desert, dry terrain.
And mesas, really cool mesas. And we had read that if you really want to go to Utah, go here if you don't have time, because it's got a beautiful like mesas everywhere where you can, it's like you kind of go inside of them.
So you're like hiking through these canyons, and it's beautiful reds and oranges, like scrub brush. You actually have to cross one of the larger water bodies in Colorado, the Gunnison River. And both the big and the little Dominguez rivers like converge, and they feed into the Gunnison, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice. So this is to set the stage, right? That we go to do this hike, and I think we actually start at like 10 a.m. We don't start super early to start the hike. And we're doing great.
The reviews on All Trails, which is where we found it, people were like, oh, beautiful trail, like smooth sailing,
gorgeous.
Hiking is great,
amazing.
gorgeous. Like nothing negative, nothing expressing hardships, difficulties. If that gives you any foreboding.
Like
I know, waiting. I'm like,
green lights everywhere. We're like, I'm like, hey, this sounds perfect for us.
Like there are petroglyphs on some of the rocks. Like let's do it.
So cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
we go.
We start, like she said, around 10. We're going smooth.
Beautiful. The one thing though was that I forgot in the desert, there are cacti everywhere. Yeah, and I go to pee like on the side, and I'm not thinking at all about the brush. And the next thing I know, I've literally stepped into a cacti like family, and it's gotten in my foot, my shoe, it's on the sides.
It goes through your shoe?
It went through my shoe.
The whole family.
The whole family of
the
cacti.
Family.
They just attacked me. And I'm like, like screaming. And then I'm like, Wesley, I need your help. I can't move. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, now I'm realizing there's like bombshells all around me. It's like landmines of cacti.
On the verge of a breakdown.
I'm like, oh God.
And you're how far in? Like, how far into it are you?
Just a few miles.
Maybe 3 to 5, somewhere in there.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So we go through that section, which was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, we're like deep in the wilderness. The canyons are all around us. You can see slabs that have like sloughed off of the side of the walls, and you see the rubble down at the bottom. You're like, wow, this is just cool.
And we followed a river that whole first like 8 miles. You're just following a river, and you're doing these cute little up and downs, nothing too crazy. And we're seeing a good bit of people in that section that are hiking, or they're at the river swimming, or they hike into like a swimming hole, which was really cool. It was just very magical. I'm like, this is going to be the best hike ever.
Yeah, I think it's the little Dominguez River that we're hiking by.
Okay.
So to give you an idea, so you've got those two rivers of the place. Imagine the loop is a big circle. One goes one way and one goes the other way. So one counterclockwise.
And we call it a lollipop.
Called a
So
lollipop.
anything that starts like this and then goes like this on a trail is a lollipop versus a
And that's
loop.
the whole trail that you thought would take you 2 days is that lollipop.
Yeah,
Okay.
that 40-mile
Yeah.
trail.
Yeah.
Can you go either direction, or are you are you supposed to
You
go
can.
one way?
Technically, you can.
But everyone who actually did it said to go counterclockwise.
And there's a reason for that.
Counterclockwise. Okay. My brain
Yeah.
says
There's a reason for it.
clockwise. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
so
funny.
despite being right by a river most of the trail, it's really difficult to get down to it to access water.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to like really look at the map and see whenever the trail like skirts close enough, or keep an eye on like some bushwhack paths that go down to the water. Otherwise, it's dry as a bone out there. Like there's nothing.
Nothing past that point. Past the river, you're looking at cow ponds. And so
Cow ponds.
we were like,
and what's
okay,
the weather? Like, what's the temperature in the spring? Like, what are you guys?
Oh, it's like 50s to 70s depending on time of day. It's
so
perfect.
Okay. Okay.
No rain. It's pretty dry, so not humid, but that's Colorado.
you say though, I was struggling with salt, I think, or something that day. I was
Mhm.
really struggling with salt intake. Like I didn't have enough salt in my system. And so I've noticed, even sugar maybe, but I've noticed when I have lack of salt and sugar, I really lose my energy really fast. Like my energy, I just want to sit on a rock and do nothing until I have salt and sugar in my body again. And so I was really struggling that day with that for some reason.
She was. Well, because you were sweating it all out.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it
Do
was
you pack
fun.
that with you though? Like if you know that, do you pack, I don't know, salt stuff? Like what do you?
Yeah, like chips. And then I pack like gummy bears, or like I do the what are they called? What are the fruits that I love? The fruit gummies that I love.
I don't know.
You do know what's because you said
The Mott's?
Huh.
The Mott's fruit gummies, yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
take those in a Ziploc bag and I put them in my fanny pack.
She'll
and I
take
just
shots of
nibble.
snacks?
gummies.
Are
Yeah,
you talking
fruit
about
snacks.
fruit snacks?
Yeah.
Fruit gummies? Who says
Yeah.
that?
They call them fruit snacks, but all it is freaking sugar and gelatin.
I call them gummies, but
That's so
Yeah.
funny. I'm like,
Because we-
wait, I know you're in Colorado, but hold on. Okay.
I was about to say it's probably because we live in Colorado now, and I'm like
Yeah.
gummies,
Gummies.
fruit
I'm like, well, no wonder no, it's just fine. Okay.
No,
Got it.
we're granola now.
That's good. No.
Yeah. But we do find one spot where we can dip in, go grab some water. We do. And the water, people would even make comments about this. They're like, hey, the water's got a lot of silt in it, so just be careful. And so we used our Sawyer squeezes to filter the water, and you can see it. It's like
white,
it's like
chalky.
it's like chalky. You can see the sediment in it. And we fill up our little bladder, filter it, completely fucks up the Sawyer filters, but we can backwash it, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah. But by that time you were super dehydrated.
I was
So
very
you were glad for the
dehydrated.
water.
Yes.
And that's like 2 miles before we end our 15, 16-mile day at the Big Dominguez campground. And we get to that spot, and it's kind of like an overgrown campground, kind of neglected a little bit.
And it was beside a river, though. Thank God.
It was beside a river.
It was beside a river. And we did pack some luxuries. We were trying out our new Z-Pack tent. And a Z-Pack tent is like this ultralight tent, and it's a 3-person tent. But the thing with this tent is there's no poles. You have to use your hiking poles to keep it together. And so we were trying it out for the first time.
Yeah.
And it took us like 45 minutes to pitch it.
Because
Oh,
normally
wow.
you've got these like these predetermined length poles that fit through certain hoops.
Yeah.
It just pitches perfect. But this one, you got to use your trekking poles and make sure they're the right heights. And you got to make sure your tent's pulled tight, and you got to guy it out just to make it stick.
So we're just like talking through it the whole time. Like, I don't think that's right. Or I think we should do it this way. And I get in the tent. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Like my head is touching the top.
No.
Anyway, we had to like problem solve it.
But
and
we did.
communicate.
We did.
But
And
we
there were
did.
these 2 other guys there, and they had this raging fire going with these 2 dogs.
Yeah.
They were some hillbilly friends, just like hanging out. So it was kind of cool to have other people at least in the same vicinity.
But to paint a picture, this is like an old abandoned campground.
Like shit's overgrown.
No, there's no one there. I mean, it's
Does
old.
anybody like man it, or you just are like, oh, here we are.
The
here
pit
it is.
toilet was open, but probably because they forgot to lock it.
So you don't
Like
have to. You didn't have to pay for the whatever. You know what I mean?
No,
funny.
no, because no one, like, this feels like a place that no one even knows about anymore.
Yeah.
But it's on the map or on that app that you use or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It showed us
There
there
is.
was a campsite. So we're like, we're going to do 16 miles today.
Which would leave us 24-ish the next day, which is a much bigger day.
It actually makes me think, though, that we ended up starting later in the day than 10, because we got to that campsite about 4, and 16 miles. That's not, we were going about 2.5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So that's like 6 hours of, wait.
We probably started around 11.
Oh, wait, no. 10. That would be 6 hours, would be 10. Okay. JK.
No, get it. Do it. Do the math.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, that was
It was a great night. Everything was wet from condensation. That's the one
Yeah.
issue you have with tents that are one layer.
like this.
It's like you just pitch the whole thing and it's like a tarp. It's cool. Like you're in it. It's lightweight. But the difference between that and a double wall tent.
Mhm.
So double walled is like a mesh thing. You pitch it. It's great. And then you put a rain fly on top of it. So
Okay.
usually the condensation will hit the rain fly, taper
down.
off, and your actual tent stays dry. But the rain
Nice.
fly does get wet from like condensation.
Dewy and yeah.
We're full of hot air, and we're camping by a little river. So
We're full of hot
Yeah.
air.
that causes condensation. We woke up and it was all wet.
Soaking.
Bags were wet, everything.
Really?
The
Ooh.
learning
Now, why do
experience,
people get that tent though? Like, why do you?
because it's so light.
light.
Okay.
It's like
you
a
just
pound. It's a pound and change for a 3-person tent versus like a
Yeah.
3-person tent in any other world would be like 2.5, 3 pounds. So it's
Okay.
Mhm.
it's significant when you're like trying to shave weight
Yeah.
in your back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think that day we filled up the water because we knew we had a long dry stretch ahead of us. And
Mhm.
the comments on the app had said, hey, like, you want to make sure you get some water because there's only a shitty cow pond
So we were aware of that.
between
Okay.
like here and
And
I don't know, 10
Almost
to
the
12
end?
miles, almost the end.
Wow. Okay.
Well, no, the end is 20 something.
well, it was, I think the next time there was water after the cow pond was like 6 miles before the end.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
back in the canyons. But yeah, so the day starts off super easy. Like there's frost, it got cold overnight.
How early? How early are you up? And like,
We did get up fairly early.
We left between 8 and 9 because we did have to do like 24 miles.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, we
Okay.
need to get up. So we actually
Right.
woke up at like probably 6.
Yeah.
And like had breakfast, coffee,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. And then packed everything up and started out. I feel like it was probably 8.
Yeah. And we're on an old dirt access road. So it's super
Mhm.
easy hiking. It's just a little bit of a climb.
Yeah.
And then all of a
Got it.
sudden we're in cow pastures, which is a drastic change of environment from being in
Yeah.
canyons.
Yeah.
And then at the cow pond, we stopped for lunch. We filter that nasty ass cow water because it is just all we have.
I was so for people like me, I picture a cow pond as like a literal pond for cows in a pasture. Like, is that what that means? Like,
That's like legit what it means. Like you can see the
Okay.
cow
Yes.
pies all around the pond, and it's
okay.
like dark brown green. So it's not a
and you
pretty
can
color.
filter that out with your stuff.
You can
That's
filter
why,
it.
yeah, Sawyer's so great because you can filter it out. But we also
Wow.
chlorine tab it.
Yeah, when it's that
Save an
bad,
extra
if there's
dose.
any
Okay, okay.
question, we'll like chlorinate it, filter it,
Double dose.
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
even flavor it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was our last water for a long ass
That
time.
was our last water. Like, yeah.
Do you want to explain the 8th level of hell that we hiked through?
So, oh yeah. So
Ooh.
we started calling this like the circles of hell after this point because we're hiking through the cow pastures. There's cows. There are cows
Right.
in the pastures.
This is the
And-
first part of it. So the first part of it, you're like cow pastures. You
Yeah.
get to that cow pond. You filter the water. You're like, how many? This is like 6 miles in, 7 miles in.
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, like it's been cruising the whole day so far.
We've been cruising, feeling good.
So then you're
But
like,
it's
we
all-
got like 8 more to go. We got 18 more to go. And then this is where some circles of hell start to
yeah, like,
happen.
like we got this. Like
Yeah,
it's not that
we're-
bad.
Yeah, we're like, oh my gosh, we only have 18 more miles. We're making great
Okay.
time. We're
Uh-huh.
but the sun is like it's exposed as well. I mean, it's the desert, so it's very exposed.
Oh yeah, but we hiked the PCT, so we're badasses. We can handle anything, right?
I
We
mean,
good.
That's
okay.
what we were. That's where our mindset was.
So then
Okay.
all of a sudden, we're like going.
And the trail takes you up,
Trail takes you up.
and then you're on
And then
top
all
of
of a
a
sudden-
mesa.
Yeah, you're on a mesa.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden the trail just disappears. Like there is no
Gone.
trail.
There is no trail.
And all of a sudden there is a landmine of cacti everywhere. Like you literally, I'm like tiptoeing like this, hoping I don't hit a cacti. And this is for
Oh my God.
miles. I'm talking miles.
It's about 5 miles. at
5
least.
miles. We're just like hoping and praying we don't step on cactus somewhere.
Because you've got like
What do
these big cacti, and a little chunk about that big will break off, and it's got these 3-inch long needles on it, and they're just sitting everywhere like hitchhikers.
I mean, they're just like me, like on the thing, and then all of a sudden the trail will reappear somewhere. We're like, oh, I think that's it. Like there's this little dirt thing, and then it just disappears again, and then you're like, okay, I know. So we keep bringing out the map,
The map.
like, are we in the right
That's what I was
place?
gonna ask you. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do when a trail disappears? You bust out a compass, old school. You bust out a map, the app. Like, what do you? How do you know you're going in the right direction?
Man.
No, we're using the digital map on the phone.
Digital map,
Yeah.
yeah, and it GPSs, so you can see your dot and you can see where
Yeah.
the trail is.
Like, we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah. And it was
Oh.
deceptive too, because like she said, there's not a trail out there, but there are these dried up riverbeds that look like trails, and they weren't the trail. And so we would take
Oh.
one and we get like a half mile off, maybe even like, oh, we got light.
Sorry, I realized it was getting very dark.
We have light. Let there be
That's
light.
right.
Nice.
So we like kept detouring on all these stupid dried up riverbeds, and we finally
Yeah.
we kept the map out and followed the little
Right.
red line the whole way.
So then here's this level of hell where we're like just trying to like get through the cacti landmines, and then
Yeah.
the sun is super exposed, and we had lunch in that area as well. We found a tree. We're like, oh, thank God, a tree. We're trying to
Right.
like make our water intake. We're rationing our water.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, thank God. We're actually we're getting closer to this river, which is now, that means all we have left is like 10 miles or something, or
Like 10 to 12,
10
somewhere in
to
there.
12. And we start seeing that like there's this mesa area we're coming upon. And
And like the red line goes straight, but straight is a sheer drop off. And so we're like, but like,
What
is there a trail like skirting a ledge?
No.
Like, what's happening?
Okay.
no, my theory is some dude, probably.
Could be a girl.
Could have been a girl,
Could
but
have been.
I don't think it was a girl. I feel like it was a dude that
Okay.
was just like, let's go hike. Like, let's see if we can connect trails. And then I feel like he got around it and then went, oh shit, there's no way to get down. I just have to figure out how to canyoneer down, because you don't want to go all the way back and backtrack. That's another like
20 something miles back
20
the other
miles
way.
back the other way. Because at this point, we're super close to the river, which
Uh-huh.
means once we hit the river, we're like 5-6 miles and we're done. We're almost
Okay.
done for the day. Like
Uh-huh.
we're done with the trail.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we hit this. Yeah. We just, all of a sudden we start hitting these drop offs where we're like, how did this person get
You just
down?
kind of turn.
Yeah.
You're like, well, let's keep going. Let's keep walking. Like,
Yeah, that little red line starts to
Uh.
go like sharply downhill through this like boulder filled, dried up overspill. Like it used to be a really like
waterfall.
hardy waterfall.
Like that's what it was. He literally went down a waterfall.
Okay.
And so we're doing that.
Uh-huh.
And then it reaches a flat spot. And we're like, okay, so maybe this is promising. And the flat spot shows probably one of the steepest descents that we've ever
It's
seen.
like one of these, like,
And we get to the edge, and
Again.
it's sheer. There's nothing. And you can see where they bouldered down
you
the side
can
of this.
see steps.
You can
Someone
see
else has done it
footprints.
too.
No.
Yeah. So we're like, if someone did it, it's got to be doable, right?
Ooh.
So we did it.
So
No.
we go down, and if we, Michelle, if we lost our footing,
We would have
been gone.
Shut
like,
up.
we were-
How do you
our asses were
go
going
down?
down.
I don't understand. How do you
I
go
was
down
shaking,
it?
and thank God for the backpack I had, honestly, because it was very lightweight. It was form fitting, and it didn't top like some backpacks. You know, when you fill them up, like they topple or they move side to side, and this fit perfectly on me, and it was fitting great. And so I barely felt like I had anything on my back, so I was able to like grab like a rock and just put my foot this way. And then
are you
slowly
sliding down on your back butt? Like, is that
Sometimes.
how you go down?
Yeah.
No.
So to our left, after we got over that ledge, there was a slot canyon. Slot canyon is where water has just eroded it so much over time, several hundred feet deep. So that would have been a great fall. And on our right was the side of the ridge, side of the mountain. And it was all loose sand with like a few cacti, like a few like shrubs. You could grab onto them for support.
Yeah, which is what we had to have.
That's what we had to have.
Like, so we take the kind of this, like, we're like doing this weird obstacle course down it for a long time. Like, to give you any perspective, it probably was a mile long downhill, and it took us an hour and a half.
Forever.
Oh yeah.
It's a long time.
Forever.
Like a mile is a long time.
Yeah, and we don't rock climb.
We're not canyoneers.
We're not canyoneers. So this is completely
You are
above
now.
our skill set at this point.
Yeah.
We are out of our skill set. But
Oh
we're
my
like, well,
God.
we have to get the fuck down. Otherwise, we're going back at this point 25 miles.
And we don't have food anymore. We're out of water.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're only 6 miles from the car. But
And-
we have to get down still. This massive chute. It's a chute.
And up at the top, you can see the water. It's like right over there, like 3/4 of a mile away. But we just got to get down into it. And so that whole process took forever. And I honest to God, I don't know how we were able to do it so
I think
easily.
we just didn't think about it.
You have to put on blinders.
I was gonna say, like, how do you even make the decision? I can't believe you guys were like, yeah, let's do. You know, it feels like you'd be like, no, it's not possible. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're just adventurous, I guess. But that
I don't
seems
know.
insane.
I don't know if we would have been able to do it as easily if we hadn't
Done
done
the PCT.
all the crazy shit we've already done, like the PCT, Rainier, that kind of
Rainier,
stuff.
Yeah. Because we've done crazy shit in the past where you sit like in the PCT, it's like, well, you're not turning around. And this is really scary.
Yeah.
I just have to do it. And I can't think about it. I just got to keep taking one step slowly and safely in hopes that I don't fall to my death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, we did that on Rainier too. Like, we went down crevasses, and you know, we could have fallen into crevasses. So we would just have to take these very careful steps to get down, because you can't, I mean, you don't want to turn around, or you don't want to, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right.
So you just have to, like,
oh my
I don't
God.
know. I think I shut my brain off, and I'm just
Who
like,
made the final decision? Who was like, were either of you like, I mean, we got to go around, or was somebody like, we got to go down? All right, let's do it. Did you like talk each other into it, or did you just?
Oh, I think it was mutual.
I think it was mutual.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, I mean, we've gone through so much stuff together. We're just like, well, let's do it. Like, two's better.
But you
than
kind
one.
of thought like we could do it, even though it's like insane. You were like, but we could probably do it.
Yeah.
Well, and we had to do it.
Because we were not turning around 25 miles because we would starve. Not starve.
And
we would eat for, you know, like 2 days.
I mean, it'd be long. It'd be like, yeah, I get that. You're like 25 miles or like, let's go down this thing. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, we're going to freaking die. Like, you were like, it's doable. It's doable.
To give a good perspective, like, there were actual boulder rocks that we had to leap to.
No.
And there were drop-offs in the middle.
Boulder rocks.
Boulder
You know
rocks.
what?
And
Listen,
these rocks are like these straight shoots. And so it felt like one of those movies like Star Wars where you see someone jump, like, and you're like, oh my God, are they going to make, like, that's definitely how it felt. It was one of those, like, I'm holding my breath and I'm hoping to God that either of us slips in this moment.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all are crazy.
And then I just realized, though, no, it wasn't 25 miles to turn around. It was 35, because we were only 5 or 6 from the car.
That's right.
So this is 35 miles.
Long ass way.
And you would just have to turn around and just hike back to the start.
Right.
Yeah, the other way.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like, well, we're not going 35 more miles because we got to get back home for work
Yeah.
for work. Both
Yeah,
of us were working.
we're working,
And so
yeah.
it's like, we've got to just do it, or what else are we going to do? We're not going to hit the SOS button. And so we just hopped from boulder to boulder until we got to this like grassy spot where it was like a straight shoot spot with rocks. It was like loose rocks and sand. And we like get through that. And then we hit this ridge line because we see there is a trail. So people have done this.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's boot packs where people have done this. So we're like, okay, let's just follow this. And then we see that all of a sudden it hits a drop, like a straight shoot drop again. And we're just like, all right, well, we just got to get down this again. And we're just trying to clamber. Like I'm like a crab, just trying to like clamber down it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we finally got
At the bottom.
to the bottom. And
And we're shaking.
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say nobody freaked out like mid descent.
I don't
Yeah.
think I was freaked out mid descent. We kept a cool
I
head.
think mid descent we kept a cool head. At the top, it looked a lot more intimidating than when we were actually in it. But
I'm
either way,
sure.
I mean, we were still
Oh.
shaking, and at the bottom was another one of those little rivers. So we just took our packs off, chilled, filtered some water, like
Sang
recalibrate.
kumbaya, cried. Right.
And then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had to cross the Gunnison River because
No,
it wasn't the Gunnison,
We had to cross the other Dominguez River.
the big Dominguez.
We couldn't have crossed the
River.
Gunnison.
Yep. No, you're right.
That was like deep.
Oh,
wide.
good point. Good point. We did
Yeah.
not. There was a bridge for the Gunnison.
Yeah,
Good point. No, but the big Dominguez was this like huge river. And this whoever idiot that created this trail, he's like going off into some weird like area to finish the trail. And we're looking at it and we're seeing an actual trail that will take us back to the big trail. But he took this weird ass, like, I don't even know, through the marshes trail.
Okay.
And we're like, we're just going to take this trail that's already like a trail. And
Yeah, he bushwhacked and was hiking up to his waist in water
Like,
for some
okay,
reason.
sure.
Like you could see the red line. The red line is like zigzagging all over the place. I'm like, were you just having a good time, buddy?
Yeah, weird.
Like, what's happening
Why?
here?
maybe. And so then we had to cross this river. I mean, it was a pretty big river.
Yeah.
And flowing pretty, fast. And we crossed it and then we were home free, like just home stretch.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it ended up being 45 miles, I thought.
Yeah, we got way more mileage in.
Way more mileage.
But before
Okay.
before we got to that river crossing, it takes you through this. I think the best word I used to describe it was like this ancient forest. It's like all these oaks. I guess it's Gamble oak, like growing right by the river, right next to all these canyons, and everything has just started to slough off. But
Wow.
it looks untouched except for this like tiny trodden footpath. It's not even an
Wow.
established trail. So that place felt really special.
It was cool.
Es-
Yeah.
Oh, that's
especially
cool.
knowing that used to be home to certain tribal Americans.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that was kinda cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that was actually really cool. Like after we got off of the crazy train,
Mhm.
that was a really just magical. And we both wanted to spend more time in that spot, but also the sun was about to go down and there was a rain cloud coming or a storm cloud coming.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
so we were like, we just got to like get to the car.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it was a beautiful sunset though. Like the sunset's hitting the rocks that are red and it's just red everywhere. Like it was really beautiful.
And then the rain starts to just trickle, but not downpour. It's almost like cooling us off as we're finishing.
Yeah.
And it felt like a nice closure.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was amazing. Yeah. And then we at the very end, we have to go through the Gunnison River and cross over
The bridge,
the
yeah.
bridge to get to our car. And it's just, the river is just red and orange because the sun's hitting the rocks and the rocks are like,
Reflect.
Yeah.
it's just like this beautiful, what am I trying to say? Mirror.
It's like a mirrored image.
It
Yeah.
was so beautiful.
And then
Yeah.
to top off that epic, beautiful finish, we get
Mhm.
back to the car. We're both using the pit toilet there by our car at the parking lot. And I have my wallet, I have my keys and my phone in my fanny pack, like right here. And so then I go into the pit toilet and I like bend over to lift up the lid and my wallet falls in the pit toilet. All of my cards, my ID, everything.
Gone.
And so I'm like,
in the shit.
I'm shining a light down in the pit toilet. Like, can I reach it with my trekking pole?
Tried. He tried. I was like, baby, there's shit all over that. Don't worry about it.
It was in the furthest corner of that little pit toilet cube. And there was no way in hell I was going to get it.
I was like, well, thank God it wasn't the keys to the car because we didn't have another set.
Well, then you're going to go swimming in the sludge.
Yeah.
So you lost all of your stuff?
Lost all my stuff. So we get in the car and she's ordering everything for me as we're leaving.
I'm like reordering his driver's license, the credit card,
the whole shebang,
all of it.
But the moral of this whole story is don't believe the first 5 comments you see for a hike. Like, because I think if we had done a little bit more of a deep dive on the comments, and if we had actually looked at the topo map a little bit more carefully, we'd have seen just how steep that sucker was.
Yeah. I mean, there was a guy, now that I'm thinking back though, there was a guy who did the whole trail and he said it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, there's kill pun, blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to go down. And like, it's not that, like, I remember reading this comment. He's like, oh, you're going to go down this thing. And it's really not that bad. Like if you take your time.
Which
you're like,
it was.
Sir. But now, did you guys leave an in-depth comment?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good. Okay.
Because what I think happened is a lot of people started it, but not a lot of people are going to go and hike 40 miles. Like that's just not a common thing that most people do.
Okay.
So they probably hiked the first like 2, 3, maybe 4 miles, and it was beautiful and it was easy. And so that aligned with a lot of those comments, but it was not indicative of the whole damn thing.
And realizing on day 2, we ended up almost doing 30 miles.
Yeah.
Not 24.
Wow. So when did you finish?
It was it was when the sun was going down. So it was probably like 6.
Yeah, it was around 6 to 7 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we had to drive from Grand Junction back home. But
it was like 2.5 hours. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really great hike. It was beautiful, but unexpected. and honestly, I don't think that I experienced that level of like, whoa, even on the PCT.
Yeah, no.
Never.
No. I was like, this is insane.
So that is why you don't go clockwise, because you would not be able to.
You have to climb it.
You'd have to climb it, and that's rock climbing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally rock climbing.
But nobody explained that. They just are like, no, make sure you go counterclockwise, just because. Like nobody broke it down.
No, they're like it's easier.
Like we turned around and looked at it once we got down, and I was like, holy shit, like that's a rock. Like parts of that you'd have to like get your arm up here and pull yourself up, because I remember I was on my ass like trying to like I'm like holding on like this, and I'm like trying to get down with this.
That's no.
That legit happened. Yeah.
It happened.
But I think that was a great hike. It was a good shakedown hike for those new packs that we had.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the pack?
Well, so the pack, so it's like a unisex, also one size fits all type of pack. So there's no frame. You know, a lot of the older packs have metal frames. Doesn't have that. So the only frame that you have is what you make. You can stick like a little pad in the back of it for support and comfort. And then you can also adjust the hip belt. I really enjoyed the pack, but I think I need to tweak the settings a little bit more, because I didn't know specifically they call it the girth of your waist or like my shoulder height. So I think I had the settings wrong. But yours worked great for you.
Mine was perfect. Like I love it. And I'm definitely
who is it? Like what's the brand?
The Granite Gear.
Granite Gear.
It's the Virga 3.
Yeah.
Okay. The pack is like 1.6 pounds, which is stupid lightweight.
Very lightweight, which I love.
Nice.
And I've been looking for like a ultralight comfort light backpack, because my goal is to be able to only do 25 pounds, and that's including food and water on our next through hike. And so I've been looking for one. And when the Virga 3 came out, I was like, oh, this is perfect, because it's only like 1 pound, 6 ounces, and it can only actually handle up to 25 pounds. So you don't want to overmax that type of backpack out. And I actually do like that it doesn't have a frame. It kind of gives me a more for my back. And it has the shoulder straps actually are very even for my shoulders. And an issue I had on the PCT with the Hyperlight actually was that it like one side of the bag was uneven. So for the entire trail, I had like a whole like knot on my left side because it would like hang a different way than the other side. And with the Virga, it's completely even for me. Even if I have like, because that was with the Hyperlite, people would be like, oh, you need to change your pack, like make sure it's all even so that it's not lopsided in one to the other, and it would never change anything. It still hurt the entire trail, my back hurt. And with the Virga, it didn't hurt at all for 2 days. Like I loved it. I was so happy. I was like, yay, I have found a backpack that like is even on my shoulders.
And it's just because of the no frame thing, you think? Like, is that?
I don't know if it's just, yeah, do you spill water?
A hole in my mouth. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because of the frame, but also I think the way they made the shoulder pads and the way that they connected the shoulder frame together, it fits, I think, the female pretty well, our frames. And so, and the padding's really nice too. So it's not, it's got a good padding in the shoulders, which is different. Like my Hyperlite didn't have good padding. And so, yeah. Okay. So we just wanted to give a code for Granite Gear, speaking of Granite Gear and the Virga 3-pack that I love so much. We wanted to give a code to our listeners. And so we were given this code specifically for Granite Gear gear. If you'd like to go on their website.
Yep. I'm going to read it off right now. Now, this code is only good February 5th through the 16th. So you've got a narrow window. The code is Yeti20, YETI 20, and that gets you 20% off site-wide for your purchase. So choose whatever you want. We have a few recommendations if you'd like to hear them. I mean, you're going to hear them either way because
I have two, actually. The Virga 3 is amazing. If you want to do, honestly, if you like are looking for more of a lightweight backpack, ultralight, comfort light, it's a great backpack for, I think, through hiking. I'm going to try it out on my next through hike, but I've used it on weekend trips. I've used it on a few day trips. I've used it even on day trips. When we were in Utah, I used it the whole time we were there. And I just loved how lightweight it was. So it kind of felt like a day pack, but then it also can turn into a through hiking backpack. So I really love the versatility that it gave me or has given me so far. And then also their fanny pack. I like their fanny pack. They've got this epic fanny pack. I don't remember what it's called.
It's okay, but it's one of their few fanny packs, and this is the 2-liter one.
It's the 2-liter fanny pack, and it's really great for like either you can use it for backpacking or through hiking or any everyday use. I take it out if I take Loba out on a walk, or if I want to go for a walk, I might just strap that to me, and it carries enough where I can fit a baby water bottle, some snacks, my phone, my wallet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A few other recommendations. They have the Crown 3, which is kind of like their middleweight backpack. The one that Basecamp just talked about, the Virga 3, is the lightweight, frameless, 1.6 pound backpack. So that's going to be for the ultralight hiker in you. And you could also go for the Blaze 60, which is their heavy duty pack. For those folks who like a little bit more of a sturdy pack, they can carry a little bit more weight. So check out the Virga 3, the Crown 3, or the Blaze 60. How'd you feel about the Z-Pack triplex, that 3-person tent?
I mean, I've got mixed feelings.
It's a love-hate, isn't it? It's a love-hate.
I love how lightweight it is, but I hate in the morning, everything's like the tent is wet.
I don't know.
And then if it's cold, you're like, I don't even want to stay in the tent.
Well, and you have to use your poles to put it up. If it's a 3-person tent, do they assume you have 3 people with more poles and it's only 2 of you? So you know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't.
You only need 2 poles though to frame it. But the thing is like, I don't know. It's just so cold. It's not an inviting tent. It's not a tent you want to cozy in, if that makes sense.
We always wondered how people on the PCT were able to get up and leave camp so early
with these Z-Packs.
When we're like slowly waking up, warm and cozy. And now we
but they were all
because they're cold. They don't want to stay in it. It is easily it's easy to tear down.
Oh, it's so
like
easy.
5 seconds, tear down. We're ready to go. Like it's very easy in that way.
And again, you're not going to find a tent that big, that lightweight. So that's
the
big
get
selling point.
can you get a thing to put over it to like make the mesh? You know what I'm saying? Can you like? You
No.
can't.
Yeah, because the mesh is sewn on to the rain fly, so it's like one piece. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a love-hate feeling with the Z-Pack. I can deal with it. I can deal with it.
We would definitely use it on our next through hike.
For sure.
For sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because weight becomes way more important than having a cozy tent. Yeah.
I will say it is a 3-person tent, so don't take it out in the cold. We actually tested it just below Georgia Pass here in Colorado in the snow, and it was pretty nippy.
Wait,
oh, because you want to be cozy.
Oh, it's a 3-season tent.
Okay, I was about to say,
Sorry.
I was like, wait, what?
My head. It's a 3-season.
Oh, I was like, wait.
Yeah.
It's not
Sorry.
a snow tent.
Yeah, it's not a 4-season, which means you can take it in the snow too. It's a 3-season. So like fall, summer, spring.
Okay.
Which we took our -40s out and used it in the snow. And we were cozy in our sleeping bags and they're waterproof.
Yeah.
So even if water like was coming off the tent, like I didn't feel it. So I was very cozy in my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
But the tent, you're just like, ugh, I can feel water on my head.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
so what do you pack on a like a little 2-day hike? Like what's
that's
the
a good question.
You know what I mean?
Everything.
Because that's like a through hike. That's not like a crazy like, hey, we're gonna be out here for days and days and miles. I know you have stuff shipped to you and through hikes and whatever. But like, what do you pack for like a 2-day? Like we're locked in. We got it. Let's go.
I feel like everything that we'd pack for a through hike, except we take less food because we just don't need it for 2 days. And we might take a little bit more luxury, like maybe some more alcohol or some other little small creature comforts that we want to take.
Yeah.
Like I think we took a flagon of wine out on this one, which is pretty great. We wouldn't have normally done that unless we were in great shape on the PCT.
Yeah, we normally never carried out alcohol on the PCT. It was so rare.
We would carry out like a beer.
Yeah.
Not often though.
Yeah.
No.
Well, what do you pack for non-hikers? What do you pack besides the stuff you mentioned? I don't even know.
Oh,
like
okay,
food,
so,
obviously, a water filter.
Yes. So for food, it's like ramen. I mean, we might do dehydrated meal. We'll do like oatmeal. It's really all the food we would have done on the trail too.
Yeah.
And then our water filter, and then sleeping bags, a sleeping pillow, our sleeping mats, our blow up mats.
Yeah.
But they're only like, they're less than 2 pounds. So they're like teeny tiny blow up mats. If you think of blow up mat.
Yeah. Lots of layers just in case it gets cold. If you don't know that about the desert, it's hot during the day, but super cold at night.
Very cold.
Because the temperature isn't as buffered. So lots of layers. And I would say if you want to know more, this is a great plug-in for the Colorado Trail Gear Loadout episode that we did. What is that? Episode?
It was the last episode we just did. No, the episode before.
Anyways, we'll put a link to it in the show notes. But it discusses all the gear that I took on the CT this last year in 23.
He even has a spreadsheet. So anyone could just like look at it and play. Yeah.
No, that'd be me. That'd be me. I'm very visual where I'm like, oh my gosh, just list it out so I can see and then I can check off if I were a through hiker. But
he even hyperlinked all of them to show where you could buy them.
Well, yeah, because if you're not from like the hiking world, you can't visualize a sleeping pad. Like you just don't know what it looks like, or a Sawyer filter. You don't know.
Or the best one, or your favorite. Yeah. No, that's great.
Trying to think of anything else we take with us, like flavored water, like a liquid IV. Element now is one we've been trying out.
Element's pretty cool.
That's a really good. What are they called?
It's a hydration pack. Yeah, it's got a lot of sodium.
Sure.
Sorry.
It's got a lot of salt in it, so sodium chloride, magnesium, and some other electrolytes that you need. Sugar-free.
Sugar-free, which is because liquid IV is not sugar-free, most of them.
And Element is still
sugar. You don't want sugar?
On long trails, we do definitely want sugar. For 2 days, we haven't earned sugar.
Okay.
So no, we try and do the sugar-free thing and trying to eat a little bit healthier. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else do we take with us? Oh, we have these little they're like sheets that you would put on a bed. but it's like a cocooned sheet pretty much that you wear inside of your sleeping bag. What is it called? A mummy liner.
It's called a sleeping bag liner.
Sleeping bag liner.
For what?
For your filth, so your sleeping bag doesn't get smelly.
No way. Really?
Legit though. Yeah. Whenever I submitted my old Thermarest sleeping pad to be fixed, I sent it back to the manufacturer and they emailed me and they're like, "Why is it so red?" And I'm like, "Because I hike a lot and I got red dirt all over the mat." But the sleeping bag liner helps prevent all that.
But you still had your sleeping bag liner on when you.
You know, you just
Hey, for 6 months, that's like a long time. Even the sleeping bag liner couldn't hold out.
Yeah.
I never knew that existed. That's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
It's honestly a really great tool also because if you don't want to cocoon yourself in the sleeping bag, you can make it more of a blanket and then use your sleeping bag liner as like your kind of cozy like sheet that you're sleeping in. Yeah. So
how funny.
Yeah. It helps make versatility.
Versatility.
Yeah.
And you eat a lot of ramen? That's what you eat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at the end of a day, and if it's cold out, hot ramen
It's great.
is amazing. And we might bring a luxury like peanut butter or like some sort of sauce to mix in it. We did that a lot on trail.
Oh, we should do a trail recipes episode.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, you should. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some good ones.
Here's a recipe: honey bun with Spam in the middle. Right? Right? Anyone?
I mean, I don't
He
know.
tried it on the trail.
No, it's sweet and salty.
He
Savory.
did.
No, I feel you. I've never had Spam before, but I can see like being out on the trail being